Hey fragrance friends, enthusiasts, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel, chatting about some more beautiful fragrances. So I hope that you're doing absolutely fantastic out there. Hope that you're being safe, living well. Please in the comment section below, let me know what's your scent of the day, what new fragrances have you been exploring, and how has life been treating you. So let's jump into the review today. What you came here for, this is Ormande Montabaco Intensivo. Now, if you've been around in the fragrance community a little while, the original fragrance Montabaco was hyped a little bit, a lot of love, especially for a niche fragrance. It's still a very likable fragrance, got a lot of love, and they decided to come out with a couple flankers. This is, I think, is the first flanker that came out of the Montabaco, and again, it's called Intensivo. So what is this one all about? What's the differences? So this fragrance here is a clary sage. It's got some tobacco. It's got some ambergris. It's got, again, a little bit of tobacco. It has this beautiful, airy, almost dry tobacco quality about it. Very, very well done. It has this clean cotton linen quality. And again, the tobacco is very subdued, very much in the background. Not a strong tobacco fragrance. It just has a little bit of a hint and an intrigue of that. Now that's what this fragrance is about, and really what the original was about. There again, I think the juniper is a big player, and there are some cottony, almost white leathery aspects of suede elements to it. But this one, to me, what switches this fragrance around is that they added some more aldehydic notes and some florals. So they made it a little bit brighter. So they were maybe trying to make it even more mass appealing, but also they weren't trying to sacrifice on the longevity of the fragrance, which we'll talk about here in a second. But they added some aldehydes, which usually last in a composition, really tend to be long lasting. They add a sparkle to the fragrance. One of the most famous aldehydic fragrances of all time is, of course, the historical and famous Chanel number 5. So you're getting a little bit of that sparkly aldehydic quality here. Against the florals here is magnolia. That's the biggest one I get, and it adds a very almost mellow, smooth, and almost calming floral to this fragrance. So is it a nice one? I do think it's nice. I do have to admit, though, that to my personal taste and to my personal notes, I usually don't go for aldehydes. Usually it's not something that I go for. And adding this fragrance, making it brighter, was not the direction that I personally liked with this fragrance. I love the original, and I think the original is better. I'm not going to beat up on this fragrance. For some people, this is more unisex. This is perhaps more wearable. It's brighter. It's happier. It's more cheerful. Was the original a sad fragrance? By no means, but it was a little bit more desert-like. It was a little bit more mellow, I guess you could say, but it still had a distinct cleanliness about it. It had a distinct, almost Mediterranean or feel about it. Montabaco, to me, the original is a special fragrance, and I need to try. I'm going to try more of the fragrances from this line, but this one switches it up. Very unisex. Again, for some guys are going to love this one. It has some sparkle. It's very clean. Probably will get you more compliments. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I do feel like this makes it a little bit more wearable for the ladies. Again, ladies tend to like something that smells even cleaner, and they like that freshness, and they like how it opens up on the skin. And this one will really invite you into that DNA and probably make it a little bit more appealing. So it is a confident fragrance. There's not some sweetness in the background. This is not almost a designer niche style fragrance. About those really sweet ones or really playful fragrances that are modern but yet niche and they're niche priced. This is not one of those fragrances, even though it is a newer release, and I'm glad that Ormande has not compromised that aspect of the brand. In my opinion, that would be kind of compromising Ormande, even though they decided to make some flankers, which some people might really frown upon. At least they didn't throw in a bunch of Tonka and tried to make it super trendy and super playful. Maybe Ormande will do that. Maybe people are looking for that. Who knows? A lot of these brands are starting to do that. And it's fine if they do that, a couple of those fragrances, but when they switch the whole brand to that and kind of sacrifice their originality and what really got them started and what people love behind the fragrance, to me, a lot of the times that's a travesty. So I'm happy that Ormande did not do that. Again, I find and I think that, again, if you're a lady who loves Chanel number 5, or you really just like aldehydes in general, that this will be a very interesting twist on it, adding some cottony vibes and some spicy vibes and some really light green vibes, and have a really classical, refined, upscale quality about this fragrance that you might really like. So guys, don't be afraid of it either. It's a fragrance that you could wear anytime, anywhere. It's quite a timeless fragrance without smelling old or vintage or anything like that. It's a fragrance for anytime, anywhere, and for pretty much anybody. But again, for the really young, trendy people who like sweet fragrances, Probably not so much. So getting into that longevity here is absolutely great. You're going to get anywhere from 9 to 12 hours out of this fragrance, depending on your skin chemistry. Now, this fragrance doesn't project strongly. I actually was surprised that after, of course, fragrances die down they project really strongly for the first couple hours and usually die down. This isn't a weak fragrance, but it actually became a little bit more softer to the skin than I was expecting. So some people might really like that. Some people might like that it's more of a office appropriate fragrance, better for every day, not going to be in people's faces. It's going to be a little bit safer, but yet it's going to be a unique fragrance, and it smells clean. And a lot of people love that clean vibe with their fragrances. So it's a unique kind of clean, almost cottony fragrance. Lasts a very good time on the skin, especially on clothes. You can get through your whole work day easily with this fragrance. Again, a little bit softer on the projection than I would like, but the sillage is decent, but it's not great. This is a fragrance that's going to end up being a little bit more subtle than I think you might expect. But is it weak by any means? No. And it does a pretty good job, and it can get noticed. So getting into that compliment factor, not the biggest compliment getter, it really wasn't. But is it a respectable fragrance? Yes. Would be great for the office, would be great for it's one of those fragrances that it's not standoffish, but it's one of those fragrances you want to smell really clean and kind of classy and a little bit upscale, but you're not really exactly trying to be playful. You're not trying to be seductive. You're not trying to sweep anybody off their feet. You're not trying to seduce anybody. You're not trying to, get a special attention or get a promotion or do anything special. This to me is a fragrance that it's not exactly calming either. It's a fragrance that it's kind of like a get the job done. It's a business fragrance, and to me that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this. And I don't know why, but that's the kind of personality I would put behind this fragrance. It's a fragrance that get the job done. We're not going to mess around. We have a deadline. We're going to get the job done, and we're going to do it right, and let's do it right now. So this is the kind of vibe I'm getting from this fragrance. Not a bad thing. Again, maybe you're a boss lady watching this. Or maybe you know a boss lady in your life who knows it needs a gift. Again, guys can comfortably wear this fragrance. It's very unisex. But I think that this fragrance has a lot of potential, again, for the ladies who do tend to like the aldehydic stuff. Again, like Chanel No. 5. So my final thoughts with this fragrance, with the price, I think this one is about $180 or so. This is the 50 ml. I think it's a little bit more expensive with the full size bottle. But Ormande Jayne puts out great quality. I really respect the brand. They come straight out of London. If you don't know about the history of the brand and how influential the brand has been, they're one of the brands who really got oohed into Western, niche perfumery. They're a brand with a great history, and they've done a really great job. They're not as mentioned in the niche world, at least on YouTube, as much as I would like them to be. They're doing a great job. The lady is a very charming, very kind lady, and very passionate about fragrances. And I think that Ormande Jayne certainly is worth checking out. So, not my personal favorite, but a solid release nonetheless from the brand, Ormande Jayne. So my final thoughts with the brand and with this fragrance, that again, try it, give it a go, but I don't know if this is going to be what everybody's looking for. You're going to have some money, and you maybe want something, again, a little bit more of a professional fragrance for maybe everyday situations. And I don't know if that's everybody's thing, but if you want to smell great and have a really great presence in your work environment, this is one of the strongest releases for that I have ever come across. Would be a strong fragrance, not necessarily in performance, but attitude and presence. Give you a really strong presence for when you want to, get that respect. People are going to respect you when you wear a fragrance like this. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up this fragrance review. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. And when you hit the notification bell, please hit all notifications so you never miss out on my content. I upload a video just about every single darn day. I've been working really hard. I hope that you like what I'm doing over here. And please help me, and because I help you learn about these beautiful fragrances. So I'll see you next time, everybody. Please, have a fun day. Be safe, live well, and I'll catch you in the next video. And this has been Ben over here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel. What can I say? I do what I can. So I'll see you next time, everybody. Wear what you love. Don't forget that. And rock what you got. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.